If you're hunting for a monitor that can keep up with fast-paced games without feeling like you're staring at a slideshow, the LG Ultragear OLED 32GS95UV might be exactly what you're looking for. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Most gamers don't just want specs, they want something that feels reliable day in and day out, doesn't glare at them in a dark room, and doesn't break the bank for features they'll never use. The problem is, a lot of high refresh rate monitors either look washed out, suffer from motion blur, or cost more than they're worth. This LG OLED changes that by giving you a 240Hz refresh rate with a 0.03 milliseconds response time, which means fast action stays sharp and smooth without ghosting. That's not just marketing talk, it's the kind of thing you notice immediately when you're playing a twitchy shooter or racing game where every millisecond counts. The real value here isn't just the speed, though. It's the screen itself. OLED panels deliver deep blacks and vibrant colors, which makes games look more immersive. If you've ever played in a dimly lit room and had to squint because the backlight was too bright, you'll appreciate how this display handles contrast. It's not just about brightness, it's about how well it controls light in the darkest and brightest scenes. That's where OLED shines, and this monitor does it well without overcomplicating things. Now, who should actually buy this? If you're a competitive gamer who plays fast-paced shooters, fighting games, or racing sims, this monitor is a solid pick. The 240Hz refresh rate and near-instant response time mean you're getting the smoothest possible experience without smearing or lag. The DisplayHDR compatibility and AMD FreeSync Premium Pro also help eliminate screen tearing and stuttering, which is a big deal when you're trying to stay focused on the game. If you're the kind of player who notices input lag or screen tearing, this monitor will feel like a huge upgrade. But it's not for everyone. If you mostly play single-player RPGs or slower strategy games, you might not need 240Hz. You'd probably be fine with a 144Hz or even 60Hz display and save some money. Also, OLED screens can be prone to burn-in if you leave static elements like HUDs or menus on screen for too long. If you're the type to alt-tab into Discord or leave a browser open with a bright logo for hours, you'll want to be mindful of that. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you're used to LCD screens that don't have that issue. Another thing to consider is the size. This is a 32-inch display, which is great for immersion, but it might feel too big if you're sitting close to it. Some people prefer 27 inches for competitive gaming because it keeps everything within their field of view without needing to turn their head as much. If you're used to a smaller monitor, the jump to 32 inches might take some getting used to. The color accuracy is solid, too, with 98.5% DCI-P3 coverage. That's useful if you're into content creation or just want games to look as good as possible. But if you're not sensitive to color accuracy, you might not notice the difference between this and a high-end LCD. Still, it's a nice bonus for those who care about visuals. One thing that's often overlooked is how this monitor handles different lighting conditions. If you game in a bright room, the HDR performance might not pop as much as it does in a dark room. OLED screens can struggle with glare in well-lit spaces, so if your setup isn't in a controlled environment, you might want to consider that. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth thinking about if you can't control your lighting. So, is this monitor worth the price? If you're a competitive gamer who wants the smoothest, most responsive experience possible, then yes. The 240Hz refresh rate and OLED panel make a noticeable difference in fast-paced games. If you're a casual gamer or someone who doesn't need the absolute fastest response times, you might be better off with something cheaper. The burn-in risk is real, but if you're mindful of it, this monitor can last a long time without issues. At the end of the day, the LG Ultragear OLED 32GS95UV is a great choice for gamers who want the best possible performance without sacrificing visual quality. If that's you, check out the link in the description to see the latest price and availability.